And so here's the thing. There's $275 million a year in FBI has reported in fraud. Real estate fraud losses in the year 2024, $173 million. In 2025, it was $275 million. And in total consumer fraud losses in all of 2024, it was $12.5 billion with a B dollars. Okay. There's been $5.7 billion with a B investment money that was scammed and lost in 2024. It is actually the number one fraud category that the FTC reports. Okay. And this actually crosses every single age group. 20s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s are all equally represented. They don't care. They're going to hit you up if you got money. They want your money. And now watch out, because you guys know my favorite in the whole world, AI is now being used to deep fake people and defrauding them. Now, what does a real JV look like? Because we talk about this scam and this fraud. I mean, how are you supposed to know as a real estate investor if the deal is legitimate or not? Okay, so what a real JV looks like is like this. Number one, there is going to be a separate LLC that is formed specifically for this deal. Each party, a member of the JV, is going to have a stated percentage ownership in that LLC. The LLC owns the land. The LLC is a borrower on the loan. And the property is absolutely deeded over into that LLC, and the operating agreement has to cover the contributions, the distributions, the dividends, and your exit rights. You have to be allowed to exit out of a project at any point in time. There's going to be a number of different mechanisms that you and your attorney will decide on what works best for you. But also, there has to be a dedicated bank account for this LLC that has separate accounting, and each party has to have their own independent legal counsel. You guys have your own attorney review the paperwork. There are a lot of real estate investing networks out there. Most of them are really good. I mean, one of my favorite is RAIN, Real Estate Investors Network is what it's called. It's a national organization. It's huge. You can connect with investors from all across the country. Upside is they have tons of education. Downside is it's one of the number one sources that fraudsters like to go to get investors, because people are interested, they have money, they want to invest in real estate. So they're going to target people who are newer to RAIN. And that's one of the other things is like they're going to target you when you're new because they think that you don't know any better, and you probably don't. Somebody comes to you, they give you a one-page document. It looks like a term sheet, sounds really legit. You know them, you trust them, you're their brother, you're their sister. Hey, they call you baby, you're best friends. You meet their kids. They take you on the private jet. They're so cool and famous. They have 400 followers on Instagram. You don't want to tell them no. You don't want to make a stink. You don't want to be the thorn in their side, because guess what happens? As soon as you say, yeah, I'd love to invest in this. Let me take a look at it. You know what? I'm going to have my attorney, Kim, take a look at this for me. I hope that's okay. Can I get a copy of the proposed operating agreement and all of the documents? I'd like for her to take a look at it all so that she can vet it for me. And if they do this, if they say, oh no, brother, you don't need that. Yeah, attorneys, all they do is they just kill deals. They don't know how to, we're out here trying to make money. She's just going to try to prevent you from being able to be in it. That's going to be a huge red flag. Do not do that deal with that person, because anybody who's legitimate is going to say exactly like this. Absolutely, I would love to connect with your attorney. As a matter of fact, why don't I connect my attorney with your attorney? And we can just step out of it and we'll let the attorneys hash this out. What do you think of that? That sounds legitimate, doesn't it? So you're going to develop an ear for this from us having these conversations on this radio show, because discernment is everything. So what are we going to do? Separate LLC. Why? You cannot commingle projects. Now look, I have an escrow account. That escrow account is used to close on hundreds of deals, thousands of deals every single year. Yes, it's one escrow account. All the money goes in, but it's not commingled, because we have a separate ledger for every single transaction. So every deal that closes in the office balances to zero. We know every penny that comes in. We have every penny that goes out. We know exactly who got paid what. We see the date that the money cleared. We know every check that has and has not cashed yet, and it's all on a separate ledger. So not only is a bank account balanced, but every single deal is independently balanced. 99% of the time, these people do not do that. They don't have any separate bookkeeping. They pool all the money together so that every penny that comes in is just used. Like, for instance, in the Parker case, let me tell you a little fun fact. What they did is the assistant who was helping Danielle actually sent her an email, and it was a spreadsheet of 40 different investors who had given money to the Parkers. And the title of the Excel was Needs Property. These are people who had given money over and a property project had not yet been assigned to them. Why? Where's the money? Where did it go? If you have a separate ledger for every single project and every project is in a separate LLC, then you should never have a situation where people are giving you money without a project pre-assigned to them, because that's one of the requisites, okay? So you have a separate LLC form for the deal. Each party is documented with a stated ownership percentage. Why? You have to own the project. You have to secure your investment. Now, a lot of times what these people want to do is they want to structure you as a lender. You're just a lender. I'm going to give you a second position, third position, fourth position mortgage loan. You're going to be secured by a deed of trust. You know, I tell you what, I need you to release your deed of trust on this project because I want you to hold collateral over here instead. Why would they do that? If every single project is separate, if every project is independent and nothing is commingled, why would there ever be a situation where you need to release your deed of trust on one property to secure it as, quote, collateral on another property? You would never need to do that because your projects should be separated. Now, they almost never have an actual operating agreement. It's almost always like a one-page document. It's like a simple, quote, joint venture agreement that none of the other investors get to see or sign. Okay, they only get to see the one page that they're signing, but they don't ever get to see the whole thing. And that is one thing you must tell that a real estate attorney or any attorney has not reviewed this paperwork. This person did not seek independent legal advice, is because no attorney is going to allow somebody to join a JV if they don't get to see all the agreements, all the entity documents for all of the LLCs and all the individuals who are involved in it. It just wouldn't happen. And also, you have to have a separate bank account. The separate bank account is key. It requires separate bookkeeping, and it prevents any commingling of funds or property, and that is what you need when you're doing these deals. I close on real estate deals that are tens of millions of dollars, and we get millions of dollars coming in our escrow account. And I'm going to tell you, every single legitimate joint venture with capital and equity partners coming in on a deal, every single one of them is structured with a holding LLC, properties owned by the LLC, separate bank account. Every member has a percentage ownership interest in that LLC, and an operating agreement is signed. And on the ones with the cherry on top of the sundae, the ones that really just ring my bell and I love them so much, are the ones that are also accompanied by a contribution agreement, a project budget, a construction contract. We want to see who's the lender, who's the contractor, who's getting paid, where's the money going. I get to see the construction plans. I get to see it all up front. Those are my favorite deals. So here are the things that you want to look out for. These are the 8 structural issues that I will commonly see on Ponzi-style real estate schemes. Number 1, as we talked about, funds are commingled. I just cannot stress this enough. You have to make sure the funds are not commingled. There should be independent documentation from every single person. They should not be allowed to just have a one-pager where they join in the existing agreement using a one-pager. Because guess what? If you're signing a one-pager, everybody else is signing a one-pager. How do you know how much money is in the deal? How do you know if there's enough equity in the project to cover your cash investment? How do you know that there's an equity at all? How do you know that there's an actual project in play if all you ever get is a one-pager? The property must be in that LLC and you must be a member in the LLC. If the property is deeded to an LLC and you are not a member of it, that is a scam. Hear me again. If the property is owned by an LLC and you are not invited to become a member of it, that is a scam. You are not a member of a JV. They're telling you that you are. You're a lender on either an unsecured or a secured note. And I'll tell you this, I would never lend money in a second mortgage position. Never. Most first mortgage lenders are not going to allow it anyways. If you have, like I said, multiple partners and they're all structured and called, quote, lenders in the collateral, problem. If you don't get to see anybody's entity documents, if you don't get to see anyone's corporate resolutions that authorize the deal and cover all of the deal points, problem. And the funds must flow from a proper dedicated account. The down payment money for that loan and for your project is not coming from the dedicated bank account that is in that LLC's name, problem. Where's the money coming from? If we're all JV partners and we're all putting the money into this one bank account, how come the down payment's coming from someone else? Always ask to see wire confirmations. And then the last one is that all participants must have written risk disclosures and they must have independent counsel reviewing the deal. Guys, if you have any questions, if you have any thoughts, if you have anything that you want to share with me, if you have your own Ponzi scheme story, you want me to take a look at something, give me a call. It's 615-257-0565. Guys, you know we're called The Real Deal. You know you can trust us. And we just absolutely love our listening audience. And all we ever want to do is share information with you guys to help secure you and secure your deals.